Hey, everybody. It's Eric J. Olson, and we are doing a live version of the Managing Partners podcast. So I'm the CEO of Array Digital, where we focus on providing digital marketing to law firms. So we like to talk about what managing partners are doing to fill up their case pipeline. And we like to ask them questions about their marketing, what's working, and what's not, so that we can all learn together. So today, my guest is Michael Rosenberg, who is the managing partner of Roig Lawyers, a litigation firm with multiple offices throughout Florida. Hey, Michael.
Good morning, Eric. How are you?
I'm doing great.
Super.
Hey, man, I had to comment on your background. That is really cool.
Likewise. You're very sharp.
Yeah, you look good. I should have wore a jacket today.
I wasn't sure what to wear, but you know what? I went with what felt right. So this is what I'm doing.
That's awesome. Looking sharp. Well, hey, man, appreciate you making the time to be on the podcast with us. Can you tell us a little bit about your firm, maybe the number of lawyers that you have? I already talked about the 6 offices all in Florida, but yeah, just a little bit more about you and what you guys do.
Sure. Yeah. So I'm Michael Rosenberg. I'm the managing partner of Roig Lawyers. As you noted, we've got 6 offices throughout the state of Florida. We've got about 70 attorneys statewide. We primarily handle insurance defense litigation and commercial litigation for Fortune 500 companies. And, you know, we really have focused a lot of our business and a lot of our growth really around technology and, you know, making use of the tools available. You know, as we talked about before we got started, you know, the technology that's out there is really fantastic right now. You know, I'm coming to you from my home, and you know, there's a lot of ability for us as a firm and an industry as a whole to really, you know, leverage that technology to deliver better results for our clients. So that's what we try to focus on. We really try to, you know, do things differently. You know, we are one of the largest minority-owned law firms in the country. So that's super important to us, and that's something we continue to push forward and really trying to expand, you know, diversity in the law firm environment.
Excellent. So yeah, we talked about already technology, offices. So you have 6 offices. Are you back in the office at this point?
So we're, you know, we're like everybody else, sort of like in a hybrid environment. So our offices are open throughout the state of Florida, and we leave it up to, you know, the employees of where they feel they want to work best. You know, for us, again, because of our investment in technology years and years ago at this point, when the pandemic first hit, we transitioned everybody to work from home within the first week. So we had 100% of our employees working at home from week 1. So as you know, time went on, and we evaluated what was happening. We looked at, you know, the different opportunities that are available. We felt that, you know, it would be best to give everybody an option of how do they want to run their practice? How do they want to run their day-to-day? And what we found is most attorneys are really working from home, and they're working more efficiently. You know, I was actually just on a call with a client this morning, and we were talking about, you know, the fact that she had gone back to the office, and then they closed the office, and now she's back from home. And she said, you know, she's so much more productive at home because she's able to get things done on her schedule at her time. And that's really what we try to, you know, embrace. You know, not everybody, even before the pandemic, we had about 15 or 20 attorneys and staff members who were scattered throughout the United States. So we had people already working in Texas and New York and South Carolina, North Carolina, to name a few states, Illinois. And people since that time have sort of expanded further out west and grown. But we, you know, we've really embraced a mobile workforce, you know, for years, because we believe that that was the future back then. And now it's very clear that it is, because what we found also is, you know, going forward since the past year and a half at this point, most, not only attorneys, but our staff as a whole, paralegals, legal support team, our administrative team, everybody prefers working at home. And, you know, I think that, you know, that's likely the future. But certainly for us, you know, we're giving everybody the option to continue to work from home or work from office, or a blend of both. You know, for example, myself, I go into the office once or twice a week, and most of the time I'm working from home.
Okay, so it sounds like you anticipate that will continue, the hybrid model. And are you thinking you're going to keep your offices, all 6 of those offices?
Yeah, I mean, I think so. I mean, for us, one, again, we want to have the ability for any of our team members to go in. Two, while it has decreased over the past year, we frequently had clients in the office, for deposition prep sessions, for trial prep sessions. So we still want to maintain a facility, and we think that's important, to have a presence and not just be 100% virtual. But realistically, we'll probably decrease some of our our leaseholds over the next 5 years. But we're still in contracted terms, so sort of stuck with what I got right now.
Yeah, that's an interesting concept. Keeping the footprint but making it smaller, right? Because there's a lot of positive to be able to get face to face with either colleagues or face to face with clients or prospective clients. That's very, very powerful. So you definitely don't want to lose that in person touch ability, and you need kind of a showcase as well. It seems like like you need to kind of show people that like it or not. If you don't have any office whatsoever, I think that there's doubt in people's minds about whether you're legitimate or as legitimate as you say. And in your case, you guys have been around a long time. You have a large staff, but for smaller firms and managing partners for smaller firms that may be watching this, it's something to keep in mind. That physical presence provides validity. Have you found that to be true as well?
Yeah, I found it to be true, but not only for validity. I think your point you made about collaboration is really important. Again, because we focus so much on technology and diversity, it is a little bit challenging sometimes to have a Zoom call with, 5, 10, 15, team members to get everybody heard. It's much easier to get together. So for example, like in our main office in Deerfield Beach in Florida, we have, sort of this outdoor breezeway courtyard setup. So we have, we occupy two buildings, and between the two buildings, there's a courtyard and a breezeway. And, frequently, and now, especially in the pandemic, we'll all get together outdoors and we'll have lunch together or dinner or breakfast, whatever it is, or just hang out and, just work. But we have that ability to collaborate and ask, different perspectives. And it's a little bit easier. I mean, to have a conversation in person than to, schedule a Zoom and get on and, make sure that, the lighting is right. We spent some time talking about that this morning, making sure the headphones are working, etc. It's, it's nice just to, sit down and pull up a chair and chat with Eric.
Yeah, exactly. No, I'm with you. So how do you go about, in your practice area, defense litigation, how do you go about getting new clients?
So, it's a little bit more challenging these days, but it's it's all about relationships, right? It's all about, meeting people, connecting with people. So years before the pandemic started, we were hosting a monthly series of online continuing education courses. So every month, one of our attorneys presents a class that's open to anyone who wants to join. We've had, plaintiff attorneys attend. We've had defense attorneys. We've had, clients, potential clients. We've had, members of government attend. So whoever wants to attend is welcome to attend. And we talk about, a topic that is relevant to the litigation that we're seeing and the litigation that we're handling in Florida. And we give everybody an opportunity, obviously, to ask questions in advance, to ask questions during it. But what we've done is, we set this monthly series whereby we are doing it and offering adjuster credit, usually 1 hour, maybe sometimes a little bit more, for our clients to attend and get that credit. So we found that has been quite successful because I think, frankly, it shows, that we have knowledge, and it allows somebody to put a name with a face and see how we talk and see how we communicate and the theories that we talk about and, the perspectives. So we've enjoyed doing that, and we've continued to do that, and we will continue to do that. The other thing that we've done, frankly, is partnering with really, important organizations. We've committed a lot of time, resource, and money to NAMWOLF, which is the National Association of Minority and Women-Owned Law Firms. And that's an organization that, frankly, has led us to some new clients, but one that really focuses on diversity in the legal profession. So, working together with a couple key organizations and really, getting active roles, like I'm the co-chair of the insurance committee for NAMWOLF. My partner Nelson is the co-chair of the trials committee, and that has given us opportunities not only to meet potential clients, but other referral sources from different firms, that don't have a presence in Florida. So we've seen some success, over the past several years of really partnering with other law firms. And, as a minority-owned law firm, what we've also done is partner with some of the, majority-owned firms. So the AmLaw 100 firms, because there has been such a push over the past several years for, minority representation in sort of big law, we've partnered with some big law firms where we'll come in and do some of the work side by side with them for one of their larger clients. So we've really tried to look at all aspects that are available to us in order to, really diversify the clients that we have and make sure that, we are, representing as really good clients, but, bringing on new clients as well.
Yeah. So you mentioned being members of different organizations and then even being like on their boards. Great way to meet people that, could be referral partners or even maybe even clients. It is time consuming though, isn't it?
It's time consuming but it is time consuming, but you have to make the commitment if you want to do it and you want to do it right, and that's, what we talk a lot about within the office of, should I do this? Should I not do this? And the, the mantra that we always have is, if you're going to do it, you got to go full steam. You've got to commit to doing it at 100%. Because frankly, if you don't do it at 100%, you're doing a disservice to the organization, but you're really doing a disservice to yourself because, you're not going to be looked at as the type of, industry leader, thought leader, somebody who's really collaborative. If you're just there to try to get a new client, that's likely not how it's going to happen. It's likely going to happen through, being engaged and participating and, moving the organization forward.
Yeah, I'm with you 100%, right? If you're going to be a member of an organization, it's like you have to go all in and you have to put the time and effort in. Otherwise, maybe from a business development perspective, at least, maybe it's best to not participate, right? All in or not, but something in between, you're going to get, mediocre results. So
Exactly.
it's on balance, right?
It's tough. It's tough now, again, working from home, it's a challenge. The kids come home from school. It's, before my normal workday ends.
That's right.
So, it's tough to find the time to fit everything into the schedule. But, again, I'm a very organized person. So, for me, it's like, I'm committed to doing this and this is the time I'm going to spend working on it. And then there's, obviously time for work and time for marketing and time for, personal. So, unfortunately, it blends together a little bit. But, the result is, frankly, having clients who you become friends with. This morning, I got a call out of the blue from a client. And frankly, she didn't ask me about the cases that I have with her or the work that I'm doing with her. She asked me about a personal issue and how can I, help her resolve this issue. Now, not from a legal perspective, just from like, hey, what do you think about this issue? And that's the result. The result is, you put in the hard work and the time and the client becomes your friend. So, that's really, the reward here is really having those relationships because as I said, this is a relationship business, right? I mean, I'm not producing a car. I'm not producing, a fancy phone. We're producing, thought really is at the end of the day.
Love it. No, that's great. So here at Array Digital, we're a digital marketing agency. And so we're always interested to know what law firms are doing that may be unique or maybe it's just not working online as far as getting the attention of their ideal prospects and then starting the intake process and nurturing and whatnot. You've mentioned like, I think you said webinars, but basically a lot of like educational based content. Are you putting that out on like social media, YouTube? Are there other things you're trying online that you've found to either work or not work?
Yeah, so we do a lot of, we spend a lot of time on LinkedIn. We write articles. We do a lot of blog posting, a lot of digital content. Probably not as much as we probably should, to be honest. But trying to do that. And the other thing, again, that I talked about a little bit at the beginning, but really is the focus on technology. The focus that we have put into technology and helping our clients. So we have developed a lot of our own proprietary matter management system. So we have a product that's out of the box, but what we've done is we really have wrapped around that a lot of add-on products that we have developed internally with our own developers, our own time, our own energy. and really have, created a better result for our client. And as a result of that, I think that has shown the value that we've done or brought to our clients. In conjunction with that, I also run our analytics practice. So we have built our own analytics tool. And that's something is, I haven't released it yet sort of to the public, and that's, could probably happen before the end of the year, but it's something that we've spent a lot of time and a lot of energy in. And what we've done is create an analytics tool that really benefits our clients and really shows our clients the level of knowledge and skill and how we can use data, because data is now like the in thing. So really showing our clients how we can use data to leverage better results for them in their cases.
That's quite a significant investment that you've made. There's always the question of buy versus builds, and I'm sure that you bought these different systems that you mentioned at first, but at some point you made the decision to build, and you mentioned developers. I'm curious, are they in-house developers? Did you outsource that? And what was kind of the reason for making that big investment?
Both. So both, because I sort of see ourselves like almost like a technology company rather than a law firm in some regards, because we're so large, because there is a lot of information, but because there's a lot of information available out there, we really made the commitment, because frankly we felt that in Florida there's a lot of litigation. I don't think there's any secret in that regard. I think if you read any articles talking about Florida and the litigation out there, there's a lot of it, and we felt that in order to deliver the best product to our client, we needed to do something not only different, but we needed to do what we thought was right. And what we found was there were not a lot of products on the market that were made by lawyers for lawyers. There's a lot of legal products you can go buy. But what we found is that those are all built by, technology companies that don't really understand the day-to-day litigation. They don't understand the needs of our, Fortune 500 companies. They might be themselves. I mean, frankly, some of my clients are clients that I buy technology solutions from, but they don't understand what it is to handle, litigation at this level, on a day-to-day basis. So we felt that it would be best, after looking at the market and seeing what was out there, really to commit to investing in our expense, building out our own solutions, because we thought that would deliver the best result for our clients.
That's very impressive. So well done there. Well, cool. Going back to marketing real quick. So lots of different things that a firm can do. If there was one thing that you could change about your marketing, what would that thing be?
Oh, goodness. If there's one thing I could change, that's a loaded question, Eric. There's one thing I could change about my marketing, frankly, I would probably do more social media. I think that me personally, I wasn't into Facebook. I wasn't into Twitter. I do a fair amount on LinkedIn, but I probably would have looked at some other platforms and learned them a little bit better, invested a little bit more time or energy in those platforms, because I think that, for anyone watching today or listening in the future, there's a lot of clients out there, and you don't know where you're going to find them. So I think that, the broader, array, using your name, the broader array of what's out there is probably, the way I would have approached it, sort of hindsight being 2020.
That's never too late, right? But now I'm with you. With social media, it's one of those things where it takes time and effort, and you're not going to see immediate results, and you may never even be able to attribute someone contacting you, a prospective client contacting you, because of a social media post or whatnot. But it's brand building, right? There's a lot of brand building. There's a lot of engagement that can happen there, and especially for previous clients that you want to keep in touch with, it's a really good way to keep in touch. So it's one of those things, that you want to keep doing. But yeah, it is time consuming. It's kind of like writing content. Like you said, everybody knows they should be writing more articles about their expertise and put on their website or putting it in different places on the internet. But it just comes down to risk versus reward, right? Like and time. That's not the right term, but time. The opportunity cost. Yeah. Time. Exactly.
Exactly. You're 100% right. I mean, there's a lot of there's a lot of nuance to it, right? I mean, there's obviously a lot of software out there that can help you track where the source came from, and we try to employ that as much as possible. But there's multiple times where I've received just a random phone call, and when you ask like, "Hey, how did you hear about me?" They're like, "Oh, I just know your name from the industry." Like, okay, maybe you read an article and sort of stayed in your subconscious. Maybe we met at a conference. Maybe you asked somebody and they said, "Call Michael." I don't know exactly what it is, and they don't necessarily remember. And that's fine. But you're right. I mean, it's all about investing in the brand and the name and the recognition, and really being a thought leader. Like that's that at the end of the day, that's really what you need to show is that you really are the ones who are able to put out the good content that people want to hear or listen to or read or rely on, and then you'll be the one that gets that call when there's litigation or whatever area law you might be handling.
That's right. Yeah, I think it's a combination of multiple different factors, right? So there's the branding, there's the time in industry, and then there's just straight up lead generation and the referrals, being on the boards, right? It all culminates, and you can't just do one of those things. You really need to try lots of different things and mix and match and stick with it, right?
Yeah.
So, another thing that I've seen and I've heard from other managing partners is they'll try something for 6 months. They don't see immediate results. They'll drop it, go do something else. But you really need to kind of stick with some of these things, especially brand building and reputation building. It takes a little while.
It's tough because we're in the instant gratification system, right? I mean that's the world we live in. Is you press a button and dog food shows up at your door tomorrow.
That's right.
But with marketing, yeah, no, literally. Yeah. But marketing, that's not the way it happens. I mean, it might, and maybe you'll get a client, and maybe they'll be a great client, and maybe they'll be a client forever that you can get just with a snap of the finger. But more often than not, what we found is it's a long cycle. It's definitely a long process, and again for us also working with Fortune 500 companies. There's a whole onboarding process that you have to think about. So after we've made the connection and we've, got the relationship and they want to hire us, then you've got to go through a whole onboarding process of, filling out forms and completing, access to portals and, really getting vetted. So there's a lot that goes into it.
Completely agree. Well, Michael, this has been great. I want to respect your time. We're going a little bit long. So I want to kind of wrap it up for you.
I got nothing to do.
I don't believe that.
Yeah.
Well, hey, if someone would like to reach out to you and pick your brain, or maybe they have a referral for you, what is a good way for them to get in touch with you?
Best way is email. So I'm on email like everybody else all day, every day. So I see you got it up on the screen, but M Rosenberg, Rosenberg at Roig Lawyers, RoigLawyers.com. That's the best way. I'll respond real quickly. And I'm for all the listeners that you have, I'm happy just to chat about marketing. I enjoy talking, as you can see, and I'd love to help anyone else out there. So anyone, feel free to reach out.
Awesome. Yeah. So if you are listening or watching and you want to reach out to Michael, there is his email address. And if you would like to listen or watch additional podcast episodes with other managing partners, you can go to arraylaw.com/podcast. And if you are a managing partner looking to spice up your digital marketing and to fill your case pipeline, you can head over to arraylaw.com and check out more about my company, Array Digital, where we help law firms with things like websites, SEO, content writing, online ads, and social media. All right, Michael. Hey, I appreciate it.
Super. Yeah, thank you, Eric. Be well.
You got it.